Hi everyone, I'm Jacob Blaeser with AirVuz and welcome back to the top FPV video contest of the month. I didn't name it FPV video of the month because we are changing that this month because we are getting more into the skill and talent of FPV rather than just the cinematic vibe. I know it's something we've been talking about for a while, so moving forward we are calling this the FPV Pilot to Watch. You know, each week we have the pilots to watch. Now this is the monthly pilot to watch of those pilots. So, if you're still hanging along here with all of us, I am joined as always by Phluxy.
Howdy.
And Juan from Drone Racing.
One of the pilots of the pilots of the pilots.
That is correct. It's like, this is the FPV inception right here. I mean, it's a dream inside a dream inside a dream, and I don't know where we're going to go, but let's just keep having some fun.
Let's do it. This
month, usually we can say, you know, a video can win here, a video can win there. It's a very small margin of what the difference is. There was one just because FPV Cinematic God decided to upload this month, you know?
I mean, there were two that really stuck out, but one had an edge, you know?
Yeah,
one had an edge.
Yeah. So as we get through them, I'm sure you'll probably see what we're talking about, but we're going to go through them because, I mean, there's still great talent, great flights, and great people. These pilots are great people. So I want to just dive right into it, boys, if that's okay with you.
Let's do it. Let's get it going.
So the first one, we talk about good people, and this guy's one of the nicest FPV pilots I've ever met in my life, ShaggyFPV, and he just did a reenactment of the Sky Candy Jaybird bowling video, but with a little bit of Shaggy touch, and I gotta say, dude killed it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he took the formula that's been going viral all over the internet, and I think he took it up 3 or 4 notches, right? That everything, all of our gripes that we had with the first video, Shaggy did this flawlessly. Like, you know, the flying, the precision, the speed, just the general idea of what was going on. He didn't, you know, repeat anything, and that's something that we have a hard time. You and I do a lot of one-shots together, Jacob. And one of the hardest things in doing that is trying to plan a line where you're not overlapping the same thing you've already filmed, right? And to be able to go through a space and dissect it and do that at speed. I mean, he was going fast in between people's conversations. And not only was the flying there, the editing was there too, right? Like all the sounds were perfect. Lighting was great. It just all around, you know, he took the viral video and made it way better.
Yeah, Juan, we talk about precision, you know. I mean, he's going full speed. It's not one of those where he's even speeding up. Like, there's no speed ramping or speeding at all. Like, that's legit how he's flying, because you notice the people are, we talked about it a few months back, how do you like speed ramping or not? Well, Shaggy didn't need that because he just flew, no pun intended, through that line, and people were still, I mean, chasing the ball, chasing everything, going through, you know, the arcade-ish area, you know, back there. The precision in this flight was phenomenal.
It's he like Phluxy said, he took the formula that was created, threw a little paprika on there, and he came up with some magic, because it was, the minute I saw it, I was like, he's flying an acro, because the things you could do on acro make FPV, you know, that's what makes FPV, the angles you take, the way you come into a turn, the banks, the yaws. When you're flying on level, it's just not the same, you know, you don't get that same feel of the FPV. And I mean, I really have nothing else to say because you guys covered it. It was done perfectly. I loved it. It was great all around, everything about it.
Yeah, Shaggy definitely knows how to fly. All right, next. Someone we all know very well, and we talk about good people. We'll just continue that trend. AirJordan with his video Built for Good. He did this with Kroig, I know, was the main driving force behind this one. Waves for Water. Juan, let's start with you on this one. He is a drone racing parts pilot. What have you noticed, like, first, like, what did you think about the video, and what have you noticed about Jordan's growth in FPV over the last few months?
Oh, it's incredible, man. Yeah, he's a DRP team pilot. He's doing great things for us. You know, he has a very specific thing he does, and that's he does great chases, you know? And this is no different. He hit the line really well. The colors were fantastic, which is something for me. You could hit the line great, but if it doesn't look right, then it doesn't matter how good you are, you know, because for that, we have tons of videos at parks and stuff. These things need to be color graded correctly, the sound effects, and all that was just perfectly, you know. And he comes in and out through windows, and then he's going through little small spots. I loved it. I was really happy what he did, and it really makes me proud, because I remember once upon a time Jordan hitting me up asking me questions about how to chase cars. This was back in the day, and now seeing him do this, it's like amazing, man. It's one of the things of FPV I love, seeing the progression of pilots and how better they get, how more comfortable they get with their style. It's just something beautiful to see, you know.
Here's that tire.
Phluxy, you know, there was a spot in there where somebody threw a tire and he goes through it. And it wasn't all about speed in this one. We go back to that word precision. I am the biggest proponent of the phrase slow down. Oh, there's my phone. But in this one, you know, there was a really good speed. There was, you know, it wasn't just a cinematic video. There was definitely skill in it. And you've flown and done a few jobs with Jordan too. You've seen how much he puts, like how much of that the wheels are spinning when a job's coming for Jordan.
Yeah, so that's one thing that, you know, I really like looking at when I watch Jordan's stuff, is the creative mind, because he is a creative person, and you can see that with the opening shot and the way that he's like showing the city and then comes down in on the bike, and just like all of the little things that he was able to show off inside the shop, and all the little gaps that he was able to mix in. It was like, you know, it was a playground for him. He had fun with it, and he got to show his creative side, and I love seeing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, creativity is big right now. We bring it up every single episode, and you're right. The creative wheels are always spinning when it comes to Jordan. Sometimes too much. We'll get calls at 2 a.m. being like, "Dude, guess what?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's bedtime. Go to bed."
You know, but that is just, it's a talent in itself, because you could be the greatest FPV pilot on the sticks, but if you don't have vision, it's just not gonna all mend, you know. You could only do a power loop around the same gap so many times. You have to have a vision, you know, for like what you want to do, how you want to attack it, and it was done very, very well.
Congrats to Jordan for making the top 5, because you know what, I know how hard he has been you know, progressing and trying to get better, and he's always one to want to learn as well, and I think that's really cool. Next up, we head to Saudi Arabia for Nezar Tash, somewhere far away. It's a reel around Saudi Arabia, some dives. There is some cool editing, so definitely some FPV skill in this one. Phluxy, what stood out for this one with you?
You know, it seemed like maybe he accidentally showed the same video twice. Actually, I know he did. I don't know what the reason for that was. If you would have just cut it in half and showed us all the cool stuff, we would have loved that. But also on top of that, I mean, the shots were beautiful, right? The editing was cool. I love the transitions with the music. And then, you know, to nighttime and seeing, it's kind of like a mini reel, right? You get to see a bunch of little shots of what this guy can do all at once. And it was cool. I think maybe some lighting stuff I could say could be done better with the nighttime thing. But also nighttime and GoPros are kind of hard to do, so I might just be talking out of my head here. But yeah, other than that, I mean, awesome. You get to see fast cars. I love fast cars. You get to see some building dives. I freaking love building dives. So it's kind of just like, you know, a little mixture of everything, a cool little reel, but cut it in half next time so we don't get confused.
Right. And Juan, you know, something we don't see a lot too is just FPV edits from Saudi Arabia. How cool is it to, you know, see somewhere that's not the US or not Australia or, you know, Shanghai, places we've seen a lot of.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible where these things are happening now, when places that once upon a time did not allow drones, you know, like it's crazy. Now you're able to get in and deep, and the actual tourism boards are looking for this because they want to, you know, put the country out there. So it's really amazing what's happening now. This was a good video, man. I agree with Flux. It could have been a little bit longer and just showed us a little bit more, but it was nice, man. Like, you know, building, diving, that spiral building is dope, you know, like the winds are crazy, and you could tell that he's keeping it together and trying to stay close to the building. It was a nice video. I liked it. It was entertaining. That's you know me. That's my key factor. Keep me entertained. You know, I don't want to switch it after 20 seconds.
I hear you there. Yeah, but great all around one from him as well. Always good stuff from Nezar Tash, and yeah, just you know, take the critique and you're not far off, man. Like you've got some skill. You live in a really cool place. You know, if it's cool to do those building dives there safely.
Absolutely.
All right, next up, let's head to the top of a mountain. And I am totally gonna butcher this name because I am not.
That's on you. I ain't even gonna try that one.
Yeah, I mean, no Frodo, no Gandalf. I don't know how to say these Lord of the Ring names, but we are going one FPV day in Valgaudemar.
Valgaudemar.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Valgaudemar.
So,
watch it be nothing like that. Completely off.
Flumz FPV, that I can say, great mountain.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you got a little Gab-esque mountain surfing there, you know, and he hit some cool little gaps in there too. The diving was great. The mountain surfing was great. Place is beautiful. What stood out about this one, you guys?
You know, it just kind of, it felt a little gabby to me. You know, it felt a little gabby. I like that. I love seeing the mountains. You love to see someone who's figured out the formula of how to be able to get these epic shots. Yeah. And it takes a lot of work. You know, there's a lot of camera tricks here. Some of those lens flares there that's just pretty. It is very pretty overall. And like I said, the skill to be able to figure out all that, it's a wonderful recipe for some dope videos.
Absolutely. There's a transition there where he goes into the sky and comes back, and he went from dry to snow. That's vision, what we were talking about. You have to have that idea. You know, there's people that got it and people that don't, and this guy got it. He has the idea of how to do that. He goes under a tunnel, pops out somewhere else. Like, you have to, like, this has to be, the wheels have to be running constantly for things like that.
Yep, for sure.
And the guy did it. He did it. Yeah. What did we say? Valgaudemar? Yeah, Valgaudemar. He ripped it.
No, yeah, great stuff. But I'm glad you said, what did you say? Like dry to winter?
He went from dry to snow. Like it was just like it. Yeah. You know, it was like the regular dry mountain brownish, and then boom, he goes down and it's white snow. Beautiful. I loved it. I was like, what's happening right now? You know, where we go?
Well, I'm asking that because that's a great segue into this next video, dry to snow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a guy, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. His name's Johnny Share. He goes by JohnnyFPV, I think.
I saw that somewhere. I think I saw that on a car somewhere.
Yeah. But I guess he got the attention of that company, I don't know, Porsche, I think is what they call them.
Yeah, anyway. I think I heard of those things.
Yeah, you heard of those ones?
Yeah. Pretty nice cars.
So this guy, John,
my dream car, man. 911 GT4. That's it. Yeah, bro. One day.
Honestly, let's get real for a second. Whenever the king of cinematic FPV videos uploads a video, there can be phenomenal videos each month, but when JohnnyFPV decides, hey, you know, it's that 6-month time, I better start.
It's funny because it's about that kind of timeline, you know?
Yeah. Game over. The dude is killing it. The dude is changing the world of cinematic FPV. He is.
I don't even think you got to show the video. Everybody already seen it.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Like the transition he makes, and the guys that are on his editing team, and himself, the flying. It's game over.
Yeah.
I'm saying it right now. It gives you the chills.
Like you were saying, the transitions and the vision. The vision is what gets me here, because a lot of people that do chase stuff, they get stuck in the chase, right? And they want to capture the car. And Johnny, he just has that mind, and he does these things where he'll show you the car for a little bit, but then there's something else that he shows you way far away, and then you get a glimpse of the whole area and the car super far away, and then he comes back in the car, and then he flies a drone through the car's window. Who does that? A movie car's window?
Yeah.
Like, come on,
for
dude.
real? Who does that?
Dude. But yeah, I mean, there were so many things about this that just stood out to me as one of the best FPV videos I've ever seen. Chase footage, anything. Specifically, some of the tricks that they did where he was doing those slow motion up close things where they were doing like crazy depth of field stuff where you could see it was just like It looked like he had a movie camera, right? I don't know what he was filming this with. Do you know if it was with a Red? Or, I'm assuming he flew through the car, so that was definitely a GoPro,
yeah,
right?
a little bit of everything, but yeah.
Yeah, the car was a GoPro, and I don't know what camera it is, but somebody told me it's a camera that could film in 1440 frames per second. Like they were slow. It was a 1440 at 1080 and like 4 something at 4K. It was a ridiculous slowdown. I mean, the way it's throwing the mud spots at you, it's just incredible.
It's a crazy depth of field, crazy slow motion, and the clarity on those shots too is what really got me. Like, it looks like something out of a movie. It doesn't even look like it's something. It looks like it's animated. It's so good and surreal. Like, it's just nuts.
So crisp. I mean, you can't even get that, you know, with some of these big Sony ground cameras when you're filming on the ground. It was so crisp.
Not just that, but first, what Jacob said, you have to give a lot of credit to the production and editing team because a lot went into this video. But then at the same time, it is mind-boggling how Johnny could fly the exact same line over and over again in 2 different weather conditions type. And it was, I mean, because I know it wasn't one take. This must have taken a while, you know, to get everything correctly. But Johnny's flying the same exact line in 2 different locations. One's 100+ degrees, the other one's like -30. The drone, I don't, Phluxy, I know you know this. The drone doesn't fly the same. It does not fly the same. You actually have to tune it when it gets hotter. You have to detune it when it gets colder. So just the fact that Johnny is following the same exact line and the crazy maniac goes through a car, that's it, bro. Like, I have, he's the gold standard. Yep. I still remember incredibly vividly his video in Guatemala where he's chasing the monkeys.
Yep.
I was like, I think I was like almost only a year into FPV, and I was like, how's he doing this? How is this possible? Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible.
He's going to love that you brought that one up because that didn't get any hate from the animal lovers. So I'm glad.
Oh, I imagined it did, but it was, you know, it was incredible. He wasn't, I know what the animal lovers say. They say the same thing when we chase flocks of birds that were making them scared, you know, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. Sure. And these guys that do this professionally, they know how to do it, you know? Right. They're not causing the animal any kind of trauma because that's not what it's about.
Right. Well, yeah, well said. I have a feeling we'll be talking about this one in just a second here. So let's, first off, congrats to the top 5, honestly, from Johnny to Shaggy to Jordan, Nezar Tash, and Flumz. Great videos, all different types of videos. You know, once again, we didn't really have any that doubled up on each other of similarity. Creativity off the chart, skill, you know, we're trying to get away from just that cinematic stuff. And I would like to say that one more time on Johnny's. Not only is it a cinematic flight, and I know we're saying we're trying to get away from that and look at the skill, but I mean, the skill was 100% too, you know, like it was FPV maneuver.
It's Johnny. There's no like gold standard, bro, gold standard. But what I would like to add is that it was a really pleasant surprise to see the amount of FPV there was this month. It was a lot of FPV, unlike other months that it's FPV with a lot of cinematic. It was the other way around this time. And for me personally, I loved it. It was a pleasure to watch these videos.
I agree.
I would like to say too, before we get into the winner, we mentioned that, you know, this is going to be more about the skill, the talent of just the FPV side in this pilot to watch. But if there is an FPV video that is fully like cinematic, that's just a great all-around cinematic reel, edit, whatever, that's going to be moving over to the drone video of the month and drone video of the week, where you will have seen Remy's, our guys Remy, you know, our buddy, blah, blah, blah. Remy's latest video from Georgia was phenomenal. Juan, another drone racing parts dude. He will be over in the drone video of the week, I believe, in that side, because it was a lot of cinematic editing in that. And I know Remy probably would agree with that too. He don't tell him he doesn't have skill, because he definitely has skill. But
it's funny because when you told me all this, I call him and I'm like, dude, we made it. We're in the other category.
and it was probably best case scenario, because you don't want to be going up against Johnny. Plain simple.
No, nobody does. Nobody.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm telling any secrets right now. I think drone video of the month will have come out by the time this airs. I believe his did make the top 5 of that, which is really cool to see. FPV, like the month it really turns, Remy's a part of that change too. So that's sort of cool.
He's killing it, man. It's amazing. And Remy's one of the few people that I've seen the career FPV wise, from literally buying his first drone or building his first drone till today. And it's incredible what he's pulling off. Like, it really is. He deserves everything that's coming his way.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Without further ado, though, let's get to the winner. Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
honestly,
sorry, Shaggy, your video was dope, dude.
Yeah.
Dope.
Your video was dope, dude.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I'm so sad that it's in the same month.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think Shaggy would even agree.
Right.
Yeah, like, it wouldn't be a doubt.
No,
Yeah.
I think Shaggy sort of made that video as a joke too, and it turned out just bomb. Awesome. And the thing is that usually we don't say, because we don't want to make people feel bad or whatever, who the second place or the runner-up was each month. But I have no problem saying it was Shaggy, because
Absolutely
9 out of 10 months that video would have won. You know,
Yep.
Showed everything we asked for. It showed the skill. It showed, you know, the talent. You know, the history of flying FPV. You know, he knows what he's doing. It showed. You put a little cinematic touch still, was still showing the skill. But back to Johnny's, his did win. Juan, I wanted to mention this earlier, but I'm glad we're talking about it again. Phluxy and I, you know, get lucky enough to chase a lot of cars at raceways up here, but that's something you're in as well over in New York. How cool is it to see that one of the best cinematic FPV edits in a commercial had to do with a car? Like,
oh my God, it was
car chasing.
Anytime, look, personally, there's 2 or 3 pilots that when things drop, I stop what I'm doing and I go watch the video.
Right.
One of them is Johnny, another one is Steel. And as soon as it comes out, I'm like, I got to see what this is about, because these are not only pioneers, they're living legends in the game, you know? And to see Johnny doing what he did, it was mind-blowing, because he not only, again, this is Johnny, you know? Like, we know Johnny can fly, we know he can race, like, we know he can freestyle. He's pretty much the innovator of the juicy style, so we know who he is. But he keeps pushing it further. You know, I don't have a relationship with Johnny. I have somewhat of a relationship with Steel, and I'm always telling him, you outdid yourself again. Every single time he posts a video, it's just better than the last. And that's hard, man.
That's why we only
really
get
hard.
one video every 6 months, though.
Yeah, right.
'Cause it is hard.
Exactly.
He wants you to forget about the other one. He doesn't want you.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Everybody this month. Everybody this month. Of all the months I
Yeah.
post, this is the one I get
Right.
chosen.
No, I
with
feel-
Johnny.
yeah, I know. When somebody, who was it? Oh, there's one that'll be part of this month for sure, that I'm not going to say it on here because I don't want to give it away. But he said, hey, will this have a chance at FPV or the pilot to watch of the month? And I said, yeah, and you're lucky it's July 1st because you wouldn't have had a chance to do it.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Those months Johnny
but-
posts, we should just be like, you know what, guys? Let's just next month.
Yeah, no kidding, right? But no, congrats to Johnny. I mean, congrats not just for this, all the success you've had over the last 5 years. You know, I remember talking to him about, you know, the idea of putting a DSLR on a quad. He's like, someday this is going to be a thing, and that someday came extremely fast after that. And the next thing you know, Red is making a drone or a camera specifically for this. You know, maybe it's not specifically, but that's what I've always seen it as. You know, the Komodo. I've seen that used more on a drone than off a drone, honestly. And it's not just Red. It's all these different camera companies and drone companies that are the Cinelifters. Like, look at that. We went from Squirt, and that was such an innovative thing, to now, excuse my French, a freaking Cinelifter.
Hey!
Sorry,
but
Andrew,
you know,
bleep that
you're
one
right,
out.
bro. You're absolutely right,
Wow.
because now there are divisions of bigger companies
Yeah.
just focused on building Cinelifters. You know,
Yeah.
you got a company like Catalyst Machines.
Yeah.
That these guys are pumping out Cinelifters, and they opened up a whole division just for that.
Yeah.
It's the future. It's the
Yeah.
future, man.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to be here talking about it.
Yeah, I agree, and it's cool, Phluxy. It's cool to see. We talk about it a lot, but FPV, like Juan just said, it is the future. And when you see videos like this or videos like Van Over and Justin Bieber music video or more and more commercials we're seeing FPV use, and we can pick it out every single time. But even now, directors and casting people and all that stuff are saying, hey, whatever kind of shot that was, we need to figure it out. They might not know what FPV means, but it's going to become more and more of a thing. We're seeing in a lot of Netflix films, a lot of Amazon Prime, HBO, you know, we're seeing it all.
Commercials, everything, chasing cars, Honda commercials all over the place.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, cool to see. It's always great to see, like you said, whenever Johnny drops one, it's one you just stop what you're doing and watch. And if you're uploading to AirVuz, you just hope that he doesn't upload one that month too.
That's not your month. That's not your month.
So,
I think you're good for a couple months, so everybody posts because you'll be all right for a few months.
Yeah, we'll see a huge influx of great FPV videos now.
Dude, Johnny's taking like a year vacation after that. He doesn't have to post at all anymore.
Yeah, no. But yeah, congrats, Johnny, and thanks guys for being on another show, but this one a first of many.
New show.
Pilot of
that's right.
FPV Pilot to watch of the month. I think we'll probably say like July FPV Pilot to watch, August FPV Pilot to watch. So still sort of coming up with that, but it is what it is. It's going to show skill. It's going to show talent. It's going to show all around production, and that video will be the winner. So
I concur, Captain.
All right. Yeah, that one drug out a little bit, but thank you both for joining, and thank you all for watching. Peace out.
Later.
Adios.